Hey, what's going on? I want to welcome you here. Hopefully, my head's not cut off. But I just wanted to first off congratulate you on just taking your journey to the next level. Yeah, obviously, you are getting started with the 60-day challenge, so that's exactly what it is. There's a lot of power into setting a goal and setting an end date. Because I know that's what a lot of people struggle with is not having goals and then not having any sort of sense of urgency when it comes to sticking to a game plan. So you have the game plan, you have the outlines of what to do, and the only thing that's missing is you. So I want you to pull up both documents right now, and you'll have the 60-day challenge in one small screen. Mostly we'll be covering the nutrition side of things. So you have your nutritional menu, and if you could start on page 3 where it says breakfast, lunch, dinner, 2 snacks in between. That's where we'll be starting at. So I'll give you just a few seconds to get to that page right now. And I'm going to pretty much be covering the overview, and I'll be explaining how to go back to the book and just plug in your numbers, and then basically what to do with those numbers and how does that correlate to like the formula that you see here. So of course, the formula and everything that you see on your page, that's just an example, okay? So it has, breakfast, lunch, dinner. It has 5 meals. Honestly, it's going to be anywhere between 3 and 5. You're going to make that based on your life. So it's very flexible, as in whatever you can stick to the most consistent with is gonna be the best thing you can do. For me, I find that 4 meals is more realistic when 5 years ago it used to be 5 or 6. So don't sweat it. And also, there's a nice formula on here how to calculate your macros or your macronutrients. It's going to tell you your protein, your carbs, and your fats. So at the very end, you'll get some big numbers, and it may say 125 protein, 150 carbs, and 45 grams of fat. So you're going to take those large numbers, and you're going to divide that into your life. So if your life, you can really get in 3 meals, then you're going to divide that by 3. If you feel like 5 is going to be really good for you, then divide it by 5, okay? There's also a 10% buffer, or basically a 10% grace window on these numbers, okay? And really, I don't like to teach calorie counting as a way of life in the long term, because if you ask anyone who's really in great shape or lives the lifestyle or whoever that you look up to, we're not counting calories all day. But when you first get started, this is going to help you really get your serving sizes down, the timing. And what I really want you to do is just pay attention to your body, how you're feeling. Of course, if you can take your tape measurements, your weight and your before pictures, that's going to really give you an overall view of how you're doing, not just your weight, not just pictures. Okay, so do a little bit all 3, because if I was working with you in person, that's exactly what we'd be doing. And that would really tell the story of how the nutrition is going. So especially my ladies out there, just try not to overstress about it, and just stick to the plan, okay? So back to the formula page. So we have breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you're a beginner and maybe you're coming off a time period where you've been really inactive, that frequency would probably be too much for you. So maybe 3 is where you start at, okay? So this is more of the goal. This is what you more want to work towards, okay? So you'll see breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You'll see protein, fiber, and carbs. Fiber is just your vegetables, okay? So as the day goes on, you'd like to taper down on your carb and your fat intake if you can. Just because that's where you get all your energy from. So if you can work out, I'm always a fan of working out earlier in the morning. Your peak training time is going to be between 6 and 10 a.m. If you can, get a lot of your carbs and your fats earlier in the day around your workouts, great. But if you have to work out in the evening time, then that's okay. No sweat. You have other days that you're not working out and things like that. So just make sure that you just get them in. So a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, I can't eat carbs after 12 or whatnot like that. So just stick to a schedule, get them in early, and just don't skip them, okay? Because your body needs carbs and your body needs good sugars and definitely needs good fuel to run off, okay? So protein is going to be listed at every choice because that's going to be the fundamentals. I mean, your body's 50% protein. So as you look on there also, go ahead and scroll one page up, and then you'll see where it'll say best, fair, and poor choices. So right there, all of your poor choices, that's your worst kind of fat, okay, and your lowest grade of protein. Not everything is created equal, all right? So that's your lowest grade of protein and your worst kind of fat. So that's your mystery meats, as I like to call them. That's your sausage, your pepperoni, all those things like that. So definitely stay away from those foods, okay? So the next category up is your fair choices, and that's going to be your red meat and your pork, okay? So just kind of think about how often are you eating those things right now. Usually I find it's either not at all or a lot. In Western diet, we eat a lot of red meat. So the perks of red meat is going to be, it does naturally contain creatine, so that helps you build strength and building muscle. The negative side of red meat is going to be, it is the worst kind of fat for you, and dairy, by the way. It's the worst kind of fat for you. And, if you think about, there's all sorts of information now about how a lot of our cattle is raised with steroids, antibiotics, GMO. That's the stuff that's not on the labels, okay? And that's definitely why, we're at an epidemic today where, we have adult chronic illness in our elementary schools that we didn't have 20, 30 years ago. So things are definitely being accelerated, and it's kind of out of our control. So anytime that you can buy grass-fed, I would definitely start doing that, or free range when it comes to chicken and things like that, okay? So how often should you eat red meat? Because I'm not saying don't eat it, but just really keep it to a minimum. For example, like for me, my goals are to be lean and strong year-round. I'm a guy, I still got my ego from the college days. So I eat it about 2 to 3 times a month, okay? So if that helps give you any ideas, I mean, most of you, you don't want to be exactly like where I'm at and stuff. So just kind of scale that to your goals. I really should move pork down to the poor choice. Just the dirtiest kind of animal out there. Just think about what they eat, and even lean pork isn't that lean. So pork, pigs literally eat anything and everything. So so stay away from that. As far as dairy goes, if you can lower your dairy intake, that'll be good. If we've got any milk drinkers in the house, going from milk to like almond milk has been a really good thing that that's now second nature to me. That same principle of all the junk that's in our dairy. I like cheese, so that's like my downfall. So if you are a cheese lover, just of course the lower fat the better, and just be more conscious about how many things that you're sneaking it onto and things like that, because that's the little stuff that can really add up. So if you're used to adding cheese on everything, just use a lot less, really start to cut down on that. If you're a yogurt person, Fage yogurt is really good. That's a Greek yogurt that's finally lower in sugar and higher in protein. It's pretty plain, but you can use like berries and things like that. I am a fan of natural sugars, so like honey, you can use that with your Greek yogurt as well. So that's Fage, F-A-G-E. I don't personally do a whole lot of yogurt for me, but my girlfriend's a vegetarian, so she loves it and all that good stuff. So if you want to do that, that's cool too. So going down to fish. So fish, that's definitely going to be our biggest category there. A huge fan of fish. I really should modify some of the choices on there. There are some better sources than other. Anytime that you can do wild caught will be better than farm raised, because now, our fish are a little like eating corn and things like that. So lots of things that they're not used to eating in their natural habitat. So not to be like, Mr. Paranoia, but like this is some of the stuff that you need to know. So I am a big fan of salmon, cod, halibut, any of your white fish. Really should put an asterisk by tilapia. Tilapia is one of the largest farmed, type of fish. So it's not as good for you. honestly. So if you can do any of the other types, that would be great. But fish typically is going to be where all your omega-3s are. So all your omega-3 fatty acids, that's like the best fuel that you can get when it comes to muscle building and fat burning. Okay. So, tuna, I don't personally do a whole lot of tuna anymore. Anything that's canned and stored just forever, yeah, that's pretty much where that goes. But if you have to, that's a convenience thing, then, white tuna, there's albacore. That's more of at least one type of fish compared to real tuna. It's just like the leftovers or whatever they couldn't get. So just kind of keep that in mind. So that's all right there. But I love to, bake and grill my fish, and then I'll literally foil it up, and then I'll put it in Tupperware like that so it stores a lot better. So that way you can get, you can stretch it out for a few days, and it's good that way. So go ahead and go to the page above that. It should say carbohydrates. So on here, this is where glycemic index, maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. If you need a refresher, glycemic index, which is pretty much my entire principle that I believe in and have good results on, and how I'm able to, have good strength by eating less calories than what I was used to when I was a lot younger and in college and stuff, is basically the types of foods that are not on here are going to be the types of foods that have a high glycemic index. Basically, they digest faster, and they're going to spike your blood sugar up the quickest. So that's why typically you want to eat a lot less of any white flour products. So white rice, white potatoes, white bread, white pasta, things like that. And that's why, if you have any athletes, or maybe you were an athlete, those are the foods that they used to shove down us, right? Because that's fast fuel that could be used for the games. If you're not an athlete, then that just turns into excess energy that turns into fat. So it's not burnt. So what does that leave for you? That leaves brown rice, quinoa, sweet potatoes. We have some other things on there if you kind of keep going down the list. Spaghetti squash. That's a good vegetable substitute for pasta. I occasionally do some pasta, and there's like quinoa and rice pasta. So just kind of check it out, look at the ingredients and things in a lot of the organic sections, whole wheat. I use pasta more as a change-up. I don't eat that every week and things like that. And really, pasta is one of those things that you have to see like how your body does with it. Some people do good, some people don't. So experiment. See what you digest well, because everyone's a little bit different. I do have rice cakes on there. Those are a decent change up. They're more of a neutral snack for a change up, as in like, all right, what carb can I get, in my snack window? Like, I don't want to eat rice in the middle of the afternoon. So those little rice cakes, I'd say any flavor here. You're not going to build a whole diet based on rice cakes, but they're a neutral carb that you can put like peanut butter on them, and I'll do like the caramel ones or whatever. And you can typically do 1 to 2 of those. They only have about 10 to 12 grams of carbs in them, so not a whole lot, but they will hit your appetite and all that good stuff too. So that's on there. Granola over granola bars. Just granola bars not as good. A lot of them are packed with sugar and things like that. Protein bars, I am a fan of our Isagenix bars, but basically you just want to really be aware of the sugar and a lot of your protein bars and things like that. So just be a better label reader, okay? So that's good there. So topping wise, you'll see, I forgot about our power foods are going to be your beans and your quinoa. So if you haven't tried quinoa, they look like little beads. They're one of my power foods because they're the only grain that has a complete source of protein, carbs, and fats in them. So you basically get a whole lot. You get a lot of bang for your buck. So you actually you'll eat less of quinoa than you would compared to rice. It's just more power packed. So that's a good thing there. And it's lighter also. So try that. We have our toppings there. So toppings wise, you want to do, I always say dip, don't drown. So put it on the side instead of just pouring it over. whatever that you do there. Anytime you can go just lower sodium or lower sugar, that'll be the common theme. I don't have you count your sodium because honestly, if you're eating from this foods list, then these foods aren't going to be overloaded with sodium. So you'll be pretty good there. Mrs. Dash, that's a whole line of seasonings. That's low sodium, no sugar, and everything. So they have a wide variety between like Southwest Chipotle and everything on there. So I just buy a bunch of different ones of those. Fiesta lime, lemon pepper, everything. So, and you can get a lot of different variety with your foods there. Dressing wise, like Italian dressing, balsamic, vinegar and oil. Those are definitely honey mustard also. And mustard, those are also, better choices and stuff to use as far as dressing goes. So that's good there. And then as far as fats go, I am a fan of a really good multivitamin. So, if you're using our Daily Essentials multivitamin for men or women, honestly, you're going to be pretty well covered by that. But I like to do that. And then if you can have 2 or up to 3 meals that have a good fat in them, then you have your little choices right in there. So that's, peanut butter, almond butter. If you're using our shakes, they have a really good level. They have a really small level of healthy fats in there already. So that's awesome. And so just make sure that you're just getting some variety. That's kind of the main theme there. Cooking wise, I am a big fan of grilling. Go grill almost year round and everything. So I'm a griller. I like to bake. And, sometimes I'll even, I don't want to say fry, but I'll put it on like a pan over the stove. It all gives it different texture and consistency. You definitely got to change it up because I can't eat chicken for more than like 3 days. So, it might be, you're making chicken, fish, beef, turkey. I'll literally make all 3 or 4 of them. So then I'll have some variety, have my shakes in there and everything too. So that way you just won't get tired of eating the same thing over and over and over. And with your carbs, between sweet potatoes, brown rice, mixing a little pasta in there, fruit, your greens, spaghetti squash, you can actually get a lot of variety with some of your carbs and things like that too. Whole wheat tortillas are on there. Those are also kind of in the change up category. So just find the lower sodium, lower sugar. There's some good fiber fortified wraps and stuff out there. So you can get some change ups and everything with those there. Okay. So scroll all the way down to that formula page, that original formula page right there. And we'll start to read some of the smaller things underneath it. Over there, you'll have our fruit list. So fruit wise, it's going to be, the fruits that aren't on here, not saying they're bad for you, but these are going to be the best fruits that's most efficient for weight loss. So it's going to be strawberries, blueberries, grapefruit, apples, peaches. Bananas you're going to use around your workouts only, okay? So they're a great pre-workout type of food just because they do digest faster and give you that carbs and sugar and everything too that you can use. So water, definitely 80 to 128 ounces a day. Get a bottle that's 24 to 32 ounces, win the mind game, start early, start often. And that way, you know that, hey, I need to drink 3 of these today. And then I'm at my goal. Okay. Or 3 to 5 or whatever it is for you. So some people can do the gallon. That's cool. I can't, I do better with the 24 ounce bottle and fill that up. And I knock out the most during my workout. So be sure you're drinking water during your workout. That usually serves as my rest period, is taking a water break. Okay. So just get it in. So scroll down to nutrient timing. So 3 phases around your workout. So first off, if you can work out first thing in the morning, that's always going to be great. That'll always be the best thing because you burn fat when you sleep. So if you wake up and you're going to basically burn off whatever you couldn't hit when you're sleeping, like that's a really good thing. Some people have heard of the term fasted cardio, but this is all for like getting the most out of your weight loss and all that. So if you're a beginner, you probably will need to eat a little something in your system beforehand. So like a rice cake with some peanut butter or a banana, or like a half a protein shake with water, that might be necessary. If you're more advanced and you can go on just waking up, maybe hitting some, like your pre-workout or your Ionic Supreme to give you some good energy, and then work out on an empty stomach, that would be the best. And then your first meal would be your post-workout shake, okay? So that first category says, it's basically talking about the pre-workout window, so that's 15 to 30 minutes beforehand. So that's a good thing. If you're working out in the evening, then yeah, you want to take advantage of this. So if you have to, that's what your schedule is, okay? So the post-workout window, that's definitely the most important one. So, you're doing everything right, so your energy levels are up. Now you're working out, using up your energy, breaking down your muscle fibers. So now you have this 30-minute window where your body's ready to start repairing itself. So that's like the most crucial window you want to take advantage of. So you want to do a post-workout shake right after you get done, within 30 minutes ideally, over whole foods, okay? Because that's why protein shakes are even made, is because it's already broken down, it's skipped a few steps in the process, so your muscles are going to absorb it really fast compared to 3 to 5 hours for food to digest, okay? So no matter if it's weight training or cardio, right when you get done, then you do your post-workout shake. If you're doing the Isagenix shakes, then those have a really good 2-to-1 and 1-to-1 ratio on protein and carbs, so really you're covered there. If not, then talk to me about some suggestions and things like that, of course. But so right when you get done, and then the next window there is just to keep sustaining that growth, is just to get back on schedule whenever the next meal would happen for you. So you work out, post-workout shake, your next 2 to 3 to less than 4 hours would be your next meal, and that's just to continue that growth curve, okay? Whatever time of the day that would be. Now, if you're working out in the evening, so, you get off at 6, you're working out, you get done at 7, 7:30, you're doing your post-workout shake, and you go to bed at like 10 or 11. If you can, that's probably going to be it. Only thing about working out in the evening time is that, it increases your appetite if you're not doing the right things around it. And, it can kind of throw you out of whack of your schedule. So if you can, that's probably the last one. And if you try that and you're feeling weak, then, just talk to me. We can figure something out for you. So work out first thing in the morning if you can. And then, on an empty stomach, get your pre-workout, your Ionics, whatever, your vitamins in the morning, do your post-workout shake, and then your day starts. That's meal number 2, okay? So just a refresher, you're going to go to the 60-Day Challenge book. You're going to go to your formula. You're going to punch in your body weight into the formula. It's going to give you a big number, and then it will scale down all the rest of the numbers for your macros, okay? As far as you're using our Isagenix system, it works just the same. They all have numbers on the back. You will download the Lose It app, and that will help you record and track, okay? So it's just and the Lose It app will also give you an estimated caloric intake that they want you to do. Just ignore that and use the numbers that I come up with for you, and then obviously use the app to track to see if you're close to what I have you doing in the program, okay? Might seem like a lot of info and a lot of detail up front. I promise you, after your first few weeks, this will become second nature. It'll become as fast as texting, just putting in your info, and then you'll look down halfway through the day, and then you're like, oh, okay, cool, I'm on track, or oh, I'm a little behind. And that'll really help you just get control of your schedule, and like what really works for your body. So awesome. Be sure to take your before pictures, your inches, and do your, your arms, your shoulders, your chest, your belly button around your waist, your hips, your legs. Do everything, because the inches matter. Do your weight, your before pictures, the whole thing. So awesome. Hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I can get those answered for you. But good luck, and let's get it done. See ya.